No, come on. We're just going for a little walk. Yeah. Yeah, you remember that time that you started smoking on me? Yeah, and you know how many times I had to lug around that 100-foot extension cord to get you to edge my sidewalks for me? No, just a little walk. Come on. Yeah, you remember that time I had to put duct tape on you because you started blistering up my hands? These are some good times. No, you're right. There isn't anything out here to edge. I'll let you chill out there for a while, all right? Just hang out. What's that? Should you be wearing earplugs? No, I think you're fine. You good? You good now? As long as you'll behave from here on out.
Guitars, girls, green grass, and guns.
What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to give you a review and overview of the Stihl FC56.
One made wine, the other one drank it. One spoke the gospel, the other one sang it. One gave salvation, the other one needed. One was faithful, the other one cheated. Amazing grace and His sweet sound. I was raised and live by it now. From the cross to a field of stone, I thank God, Jesus and Jones. One healed hearts, the other one soul. One gave life, the other broke the mold. But either one could bring it to your knees. They call on the possum, the other one the king. Amazing grace and His sweet sound. I was raised and live by it now. From the cross to a field of stone, I thank God for Jesus and Jones. One made wine, the other one drank it. One spoke the gospel, the other one sang it.
First of all, just let me start off by saying, if you're watching this video to decide whether you want an electric edger or a gas edger, I'm going to let you know straight up. First of all, these things require a long extension cord to get you throughout your yards. Another thing, they don't have a lot of torque, they don't have a lot of horsepower, and they definitely don't have enough blade speed to cut any grass. You open these up, you see that they get clogged up quite a bit. You got to unplug it, turn it off, and clean all this out. Because like I said, there's not enough torque to even get through to the dirt, so once this gets clogged up, you're just shit out of luck. So what we're going to be reviewing today is the FC56. Let's go ahead and get the cons out of the way. The only two cons that I have on this is I feel like the shaft is a little too short. Look, here it comes.
Wow, that is really hard.
Here it comes.
You really think you can go all day long?
It ain't gonna work.
Well, you always left me satisfied and smiling, so.
It ain't gonna work.
That's what she said.
Saw you coming from a mile away. I find myself bending over. My back's starting to wear out a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. Once I pay attention to it, I stand back up and everything's all right. The other downside to it is when I first got it, I had to trench quite a bit. And it did give it a little bit of a workout. But besides those two, that's the only two complaints I have about it. So let's go ahead and get on with the overall review. If you look on Stihl's website, some of the reviews, people complain that Stihl doesn't provide the proper tools to take this blade off. If you don't have a screwdriver and a wrench and the things that you take along daily to take care of your machinery, you're doing something wrong anyway. There is a hole here in the back. You simply stick a screwdriver in it, loosen the nut, and it's that easy. And the same with putting it back on. You put the screwdriver in the hole, make sure it locks up, and you repeat the process backwards. It's that easy. So over here in the gearbox, this is almost a direct drive machine. The gear ratio to it is 1 to 1.12. So as fast as your motor is turning, that is almost exactly how fast the blades are spinning. So on this machine, we're running 8,300 RPMs. So you have a lot of blade speed to cut grass and dig through dirt. Not so much in heavy mud or anything like that, but when it comes to cutting grass, it definitely does a good job. As you seen in the video earlier, I do have a fairly new blade on here, so it's not extremely sharp. It hasn't been rubbed up against concrete too much. So you just have a piece of bar stock slapping grass, but it still cuts it very good. Next is the curved shaft design. I think that I would rather go with the straight shaft just because I don't feel like this one is long enough. After a period of time, it does wear on your back, but I don't see any flaws other than that. Next we'll come up to the handle. The handle is fairly comfortable. It does have a little bit of a ridge on it just because it's molded plastic. So you are going to have the mold separation line on there. An easy thing to overcome that is just take your knife and simply scratch it. And you will fully scratch that little bump off there. And then there won't be any problems of getting any blisters on your hands from that little mark. Another good thing about this handle and its adjustment is the nut over here is metal and it is designed to be inside the plastic, as well as the screw on this side. So you have no chances of stripping anything out like plastic handles where you have a metal screw screwing into a plastic piece. This one is metal screwing into metal, so I really like that design. There's nothing to strip out, and you can tighten this up as tight as you want. It's not going to be slipping around. Once you get it set in there, it's good to go and it's not going to be moving around. Now let's talk about the easy off. This off button here automatically returns to the start or on position. If you're anything like me, I always forget what the O and the I means on one of these. So I'm really glad it snaps back to the on position. As a matter of fact, on a lot of my other machines, I run back to this and look to see what is on. So I really like that feature as well. And as with any other gas or power equipment, you're going to have your safety switch, which is not going to allow the gas to be engaged unless the safety switch is turned down. Now this throttle switch is variable, so you can rev your machine as high as you want or as low as you want, depending on what you're cutting on. Now back to the exhaust. If you're right-handed, you're in luck because the exhaust is over here on the right-hand side. I don't know what to tell you if you're left-handed. You're just going to have hot hips. Now let's get into the starting process of this. On the back side, you do have your primer bulb, and on the front side, you have a 3-position choke. So you put the choke all the way on, you prime it, you pull it, you wait for your machine to burp, and then you put it on half choke. Then you start it again, and it'll start to run, and as soon as it does that, you pull the trigger, and it'll go into choke off, and you're ready to go. Now back here on the pull string system, what we have is Stihl's Easy Start system. You're wondering, how easy is it to start? It's pretty easy. If you're looking at buying an edger, let's talk about some options that we have in the Stihl lineup. This here is the FC56C. The motor is a 27.2 cc motor. The horsepower on it is 1.07 horsepower. It weighs 13.5 pounds. The RPMs on it are 8,300. And like I said earlier, the gear reduction is 1 to 1.2, which means it's almost a direct drive. If you're wanting something a little bit more powerful, you can move up to the FC70 for $40. What are you going to gain on that? You're only going to gain 0.13 horsepower. Now that is quite a bit on a small machine like this. In a car, you're never going to recognize 0.13 horsepower. But when you're only dealing with 1 horsepower in the first place, 0.13 is quite a bit. If you're looking to start new edges and you are a company that's going to be doing new edges all the time, I would look into the FC96 or even the FC111. What are you getting on top of that? Well, you're getting a 31.4 cc motor over the 27.2. You're getting 1.4 horsepower over the 1.07. The commercial FC111 is 13.7 pounds. Now here's where the downside of the commercial edgers are. This model here, you're getting 8,300 RPM off your blade, which is going to cut a lot of grass, but you're not going to dig very much. So on the FC111, the RPMs on it are 4,800 RPM. But how you can get away with having only 4,800 RPM is the gear reduction. The gear reduction on the commercial, on the higher end, commercial models, is a 1 to 2 gear reduction, which is giving you tons of torque. So you're going to be able to dig through anything you want. No matter how old or overgrown your edges are, the 1 to 2 gear ratio is going to dig right through it. Now what are the options you have in the commercial lineup? You have the FC96 and the FC111. The FC96 is, I believe, $450. The FC111 is $500. So out of these two models, what are you gaining? The 111 over the 96, for $40 extra, you're gaining 1.3 horsepower. So the 111 is a very big machine and very capable of doing any job you want. Now let's go back down on the lower end. The FCS 56 is $260. If you step up into the FC70, you're paying $40 extra for 0.13 horsepower. Is it worth the $40? That's your call. I'm pretty happy with my FC56. So anyway, this is a complete overview and review of the FC56. I hope you enjoyed the video. Out. If you don't have a screwdriver and a proper wrench, if you've looked these up on Stihl's website, you'll see some of the drive machine. It is a 1.12. So over here we have the gearbox, and this is almost a direct drive adjustable. I shouldn't. Now this swap, which allows it to be an easy start. How easy? How easy? On this